We're still here with our colleague and our parliamentary correspondent, Duke Mensa Opoku. We're actually getting into a parliamentary discussion. This one has to do with the ever-raging debate on the LGBTQI plus bill. And apparently public hearings are beginning today on this, Duke. You're going to be busy.
Very for the next few weeks.
Yes.
With also the budget just around the corner. But I think this is one that a lot of people have been looking forward to, because in the recess period when Parliament was away, the major item that many Ghanaians spoke about was this promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values bill, which 8 and then 20 members of Parliament have put together as a private members bill for Parliament to consider. It has been referred to the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee to sort of do some work on it, scrutinize it, put everything together to bring it back for what is known as second reading, where the principles and the policy of the bill will be discussed. So because of the number of memoranda or input or suggestions that Ghanaians have actually relayed to the committee or sent to the committee,
150 of them.
Over 150 of them. That's at the last count. The committee would have
a lot of work for
that's
the
a lot.
Yes, a lot.
Okay. All right. Well, one of the proponents of the bill is joining us on the phone. Roxanne Nelson Dafiamepo is the MP for South Dai constituency, and he's joining us on Breakfast Daily. Good morning, Honourable.
Good morning to you. Good morning to. I understand that we are on both TV and radio.
We are certainly on TV now. We're on TV now. Certainly on City TV.
So good morning to your viewers.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable. All right, so you have a busy day ahead. Today you start public hearings on the LGBTQI plus bill. And we just, for those who for some reason may have been under a rock, what is this bill seeking to achieve?
We've been discussing this for the past 5 months.
You'll be surprised, Roxanne Nelson. You will be surprised that some people still get it wrong, and some people still don't understand the details of this bill.
It's too repetitive for me to say. Say that the bill essentially is to, as it were, bring clarity to the law on certain sexual and certain lifestyle choices of people in this country, especially gay, lesbians, bisexuals, queers. There are so many things that I'm struggling to even recall. Now, essentially what we are saying is that by this legislation, we are prescribing conduct such as conduct that will lead to sodomy, that will lead to sexual activities between two females, sexual activities between a human being and an animal, sexual activities between a human being and an inanimate thing, sexual activities, such other activities that the bill will prescribe.
All right, so based on what you just described, so this bill doesn't necessarily just pertain to people who identify as LGBTQI plus. It's anyone who, I suppose, flouts any of the things you mentioned. So the person could be heterosexual.
All these persons claim to belong to the LGBTQ.
No, hang on, Roxanne Nelson. If a heterosexual person engages in any of the acts that you previously mentioned, would they not also fall under that umbrella?
But they classify themselves as such. So they are already claiming to be under that umbrella.
Not necessarily. Somebody may not identify as LGBTQI plus, but may be engaged in sodomy.
Hold on. There are persons, in fact, they are not a very large group. I think they are the largest among the LGBT class group. They prefer to have sex with animals. Some will go and buy a dog and bring home as the wife or the husband. Some will go and buy a pig and bring home as the wife or the husband. Some even prefer a cow. And these are things that persons are saying that we shouldn't legislate on.
So you are saying that if a heterosexual couple engages in an act that is considered unnatural carnal knowledge, that couple, despite the fact that they identify as being heterosexual, they could still fall foul of the law?
Yes, okay. Because that act in itself is already prescribed under our Criminal Offences Act, our criminal code.
All right. We just wanted to be clear about that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now you'll begin the public hearing on the various memoranda you've received, over 150 of them. What are your expectations from the committee's hearings, and what should Ghanaians expect at the end of the hearings?
Now, my expectations are that the presentations before the committee will be concise, will be brief, so the issues can be properly interrogated. The hearings are well structured. We have presentations by each of the main proponents of the memos we have received. Some of the memos are repetitive, and some we have also discovered come from members of the same group. So you see about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 memos. The contents are similar. They only bear different names. So those ones will be considered as one coming from a group sharing a common idea. But the structure is that when after every presentation by a sponsor of a memo, there will be a Q&A section. So there will be questions, there will be answers. Then after that, we'll receive the next batch of presentation. A Q&A will follow. So it's in that order. But essentially, at the end of the hearing, the report of the committee would have been presented in a manner that would be reflective of all shades of opinions and ideas that would have been said before the committee. And it will be left with plenary to take a decision on the report after the debate have achieved.
Right. Now, what do you say to persons who hold the view that as a proponent of the bill yourself and as a member of the committee, you already come with a prejudiced stance, and so they are not certain of your objectivity during these hearings?
I have been in Parliament for the past 5 years. I have served on committees of which I have 7 ministers of state as members. These ministers who are sponsors or their ministry sponsors bills that come before us all the time. We have had disagreements on those bills, but I have never described a minister whose ministry is sponsoring a bill as having come with a prejudiced mind. That is not how Parliament works. In fact, as part of the procedural requirement is that when a bill is submitted, by law, you are supposed to receive memoranda. The essence of receiving memoranda is to receive other ideas that may be contrary to the bill or in support of the bill. So, for anybody to say, because I serve on the committee, I am already prejudiced against other ideas, it's unfounded. Yes, I am a sponsor of the bill, so I will have to defend my position. But in the same way, somebody else has the right to disagree with the bill and hold fast to that position. That is the essence of debate in law. Whichever ground will hold sway with the majority of the members, that is what we'll go with.
Right. Right. Now, well, what timelines are we looking at, knowing how busy the House is, and also the fact that we are expecting the budget presentation in a few days?
Our expectation is that we will be able to quickly deal with the major memos today, tomorrow, and perhaps going into the weekend. The budget is on Monday. When the budget is read, it takes a couple of days for activities to pick up on the committee work. So we could still steal those early days after the presentation of the budget to do a lot more work. Indeed, our intention is that we'll be able to submit a quick report before budget debate gathers speed. Because if we go into the budget debate, then we are looking at presenting a report to plenary sometime early next year. Because the budget, once we start the debate, we can't stop until it is passed sometime 23rd or 24th December, before Christmas, or sometime even after Christmas, because I recall one of the years passed the budget on the 26th before we went for. We spent Christmas in Parliament. So I want to believe that we can quickly and effectively deal with the memos and get our report ready by a week today.
All right. Thank you, Roxanne Nelson. We know you have to run, so we'll release you now. Thank you for joining us on Breakfast Daily. And all the best in conducting your duties on the committee.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so that was Roxanne Nelson Dafe-Amepo, who's the Member of Parliament for South Jai, and one of the proponents of the bill.
Yeah.
I mean, led by Sam George. We know a group of members of Parliament all signed on to this. They've been very vocal. I mean, I was actually surprised to hear him say that he doesn't have any prejudice against opposing ideas, because he's been very vocal about his opposition to anybody who is against this bill. And I suppose he's well within his right to be that, but be vocal and own it. You know, it's fine. That's your opinion. But dissenting views will definitely exist regarding this, and I think it's going to get heated as this is discussed. Well, Duke, you're going to have all of your everything focused on this. From today onwards.
It will be interesting because there've been varied views over this over the period, and it will be interesting to find out how it would play out when those views are tested, especially by members of the committee who have already indicated that they will be doing this with a very open mind to ensure that the input and the report that they would present to everybody, the plenary, will be one that captures all views to ensure that Parliament then is in a position, or all the members are in a position to make a decision that that is a reflection of our society. If I may put it that way, that is a reflection of our society. Because you look at this, and I really appreciate the kind of dilemma most of them are in now, because world over, Ghana is seen as a democratic country, and now being a democratic country and an open society is associated with a certain number of things. And here is the case: we are seen as a poster boy on the continent.
Exactly.
That against the views of many Ghanaians on this. The views of many Ghanaians on this, as expressed in the memoranda. If you do a cursory look at the memoranda, out of the 150, you may have over 90 out of the 150 in favor of the bill. In favor of the bill. In favor of the bill. And if you have such an instance, we've seen the kind of even innuendos that have characterized those who are supporting it. So I do not envy them. I don't want to be in their position at all. We just want to look on it and see that at the end of the day, you just need to put together a bill, a law that would stand the test of time and would at the same time reflect the aspirations of the Ghanaian society. Right. I think that's what they will have to do.
Interesting indeed.
I am looking forward to how they will marry the various views, because there are those who are totally for the bill. There are those who are for the bill but want some clauses or the language in the bill changed, and there are those who are against it. So I'm looking forward to see how they marry all these views and come out with a bill that you said, as you said,
and it may have political implications as well for the members of Parliament.
Exactly.
We've heard chiefs, we've heard people.
The threats have been coming.
From
the religious bodies, from traditional authorities, even from constituents.
So that puts a lot of pressure as well.
Exactly.
So we hope for, like you said, a nuanced discussion though, and not black and white. Because so far, all we've heard in the media is black and white, and there's been a lot of I don't know whether to call it misinformation or maybe not enough detailed information about the bill. So you've got people who just say, no, gay marriage, no. But
most people have not really read the bill as it is.
And on the LGBTQI side, they haven't asked for gay marriage. So a lot of people are going at this with a certain perception of what is happening or what people are asking for and what is being proposed as a solution to this. And and I hope there's a lot of education as well, that we can discuss this dispassionately, because emotions will be high. People are very passionate about their beliefs on this score, and let's hope at the end of it doesn't get too bloody and we actually come out better as a society.
Hopefully it doesn't get that. But already we've had some comments or commentary from some members of Parliament, so more or less we can make our own deductions. But these are pedestrian deductions. I mean, we don't speak for them. So I
just hope the political implications will not cloud what they have what they have to do over to have a bill that will stand the test of time. I may not. I don't want. Well, my views in this case may not be very, very, very important. But I think that
why aren't
they must.
Well, you're affected one way or the other.
Because I think that this is the bill at the end of the day should reflect the aspirations of the Ghanaian society. A lot of Ghanaians should reflect that. But the issue, if you are looking at what many Ghanaians want at this point in time, even from the memorandum, that would mean that it's in support of the bill. But there should be the requisite provision in the bill to ensure that people who are perceived as that are not more treated. Are safe.
Exactly.
People are not more treated, they are not beating, people do not, that kind of thing.
And there is something in the bill about that.
We need to protect
there is a clause
them.
for that because, again, which is why I was saying to Roxanne that people have a certain view, people don't really know, but there are provisions in the bill to say that, if you're somebody who attacks or harms someone identified as that, there are also legal implications for you. You can also be sanctioned.
Perhaps the proponents have failed to advertise that part of the bill enough as much as they've advertised the other.
And the good thing is that it's still a process underway. So even after this, when it comes back to the entire parliamentary body or the plenary, the minority and some members of the House have insisted that there will be a clause by clause voting on every part of it to ensure that
it will be public.
very interesting.
Great stuff.
Okay.